What is going on, Ringsiders? We are back with another episode of Inside the Ring with. I am Marcus Hernandez. I'm with the Zombie King. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest today. We are inside the ring with a personal friend of the Zombie King, but also Pro Wrestling Magic World Heavyweight Champion, the Revolver himself, Alex Reiman. How's it going, man? Thank you for doing this.
No problem. Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Of course, man. Well, first things first, before we kick into this interview, you are a friend of the Zombie King, Junior Flo. Could you tell us how that friendship started?
Yeah, we both met. I believe he was already at ECPW when I started. And then I started training in 2013. Actually, last month was 10 years since my first match.
Really?
We both met at right, and we both met at. You want to say hi, Noelle? This is my little niece, Noelle.
Hey,
oh, guest star.
Right? She wanted to do a little run-in on the podcast.
That's it.
Gotta be quiet, okay? But yeah, I met Junior very quick into my wrestling journey over at East Coast Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I got a quick question because when I was introduced to you, I've known you as a different name. So when the Zombie King said, "Hey, man, I got somebody who wants to hop on for an interview. This is who he is. Can you take a look at him?" I said, "Yeah, of course. Go on the page." So before we get into this interview about Alex, I like to ask a question to the wrestler themselves, and I need to know right now, what happened to Aaron Bradley? What happened to the Game Changer?
Yeah, man.
He took a trip to Germany in March of 2020. He was never heard from again.
He got left in Germany. That's what happened.
Yeah. So like with that name, like a lot of it when I first started was everyone was like, "Oh, you need a name, you need a name, you need a name," and I showed how very creative I am and came up with Aaron Bradley. But yeah, it just like for the first 6-7 years, it never felt like me. It felt like I was kind of portraying someone I wasn't, and it didn't. Like I was having a hard time connecting with fans and stuff because I felt like I was playing a part and not being that part.
Okay,
you know?
100%.
And then I took a trip to Germany for the first time in March of 2020. Luckily, nothing else happened that month at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, the world didn't shut down or anything.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be away for a month. It's the perfect time to repackage and kind of come back a different person or a different entity. And I wanted something more authentic. And I just started using my government name, Alex Reiman.
Okay.
And it has more that grunge type of sound to it. And it sounds more like a champion than Aaron Bradley is. Everyone talks about a name test, and Aaron Bradley was never going to pass any type of name test. You know? So I felt like it was time to change and start being myself. And then once I made that switch up, that's when I started feeling like I was connecting with audiences more because I was no longer playing a part or pretending to be someone I wasn't. I was giving everyone the authentic version of myself.
Okay.
100%.
Okay, I like that.
And just to touch up on more, that's the biggest thing. You know what I mean? You want to feel comfortable in the ring. You feel some type of way, the fans are gonna feel that. If you feel uncomfortable, it's gonna show in your work. You want your character to be,
and they pick up on that quick.
Yeah, yeah, and you want your character to be an extension of yourself, so
Without
it's more natural. Yeah,
without a doubt.
Well, for our listeners tuning in today, when they hear this episode, in the quickest response, who is Alex Reiman?
So that's a very loaded question. Because I tell everyone that there are two sides to me. There's Alex Reiman, who away from the ring is someone who very much cares and will, for the most part, do the right thing. And, has a heart and really cares for people. But Alex Reiman is a very boring person. No one's ever going to pay a ticket to see that person. So I had to craft something else, something dark or something that really came from within. And that's where the Revolver came in. Now, I've always been an outcast. I've never fit in with anything, that I felt like I did. I've never had a lot of friends, but I've always had my family, and I've always had to provide for that family. And I noticed early on in my career when I was trying to win matches the right way, or, not take shortcuts, or doing vile, nasty things, like raking someone's eyes or trying to rip their cheek off their cheekbone, I wasn't really getting anywhere. I was spinning tires. But the moment I started really doing these awful things, I started to realize something worse, is that I actually liked it and I enjoyed it.
Just a bit.
I enjoyed
I see your
making.
face. I see your face in the ring. You like it.
Yeah, oh yeah,
like
and
it.
it was it was really tough to grip with the fact that I liked doing these things at first, and then I leaned into it, and that's when I became Pro Wrestling Magic Dark Arts champion. I held that belt for 10 months, and now, as of December, Pro Wrestling Magic Heavyweight Champion. That's when the success started to pile up, is when I started noticing that if I didn't do these things were going to happen to me.
Right.
Hunter be hunted.
Right. Hunter be hunted. What
Exactly.
what inspired you to do the professional wrestling?
So I made up my mind when I was 5 years old what I wanted to do. And it boiled down to a single match that made me want to do this. My parents noticed that I was starting to take a liking to wrestling. And I was starting to pay attention to it a little more than I would anything else on TV. And my father had VHS tapes of wrestling that was on when he was younger. And he asked me if I wanted to watch it. And I said, yeah. So the first match I actually sat down and have memories of is Nick Bockwinkel versus Kurt Hennig for the AWA World Heavyweight title.
Wow.
And I just remember wanting Kurt Hennig to win that match so bad. And it became one of the best examples of a double turn in wrestling history, in my mind. And I remember just wanting Hennig to win so bad that when Zbyszko slipped him the roll of quarters, I didn't see that, but I saw Hennig hit Bockwinkel. Bockwinkel go down, hook the leg, 1, 2, 3, and as soon as Hennig won the title, I jumped out of my seat, literally. 5 years old, I jumped out of my seat because the guy I was cheering for the last 20, 30 minutes had won. And then Ray Crippler-Stevens, who's on the commentary, comes in and exposes the roll of quarters. They withhold the title and they take it away. And now, as a 5-year-old, I'm like, what the hell?
Here comes the dramatic of professional wrestling.
I was hooked.
Yeah.
Hooked.
Now, with that, was that the match, or was there a Pacific wrestler that brought you in as a fan, right? Was there a Pacific wrestler or match that made you be like, I don't want to be a fan no more? Right? For me, it was Rey Mysterio. What was that for you?
I was hooked in by the Attitude Era because I was, a product of the mid-90s. And I always loved DX and stuff like that. But as soon as I saw that match was the one that made me want to be a professional wrestler. And I started, anytime wrestling was on, I was glued to the TV screen. Stone Cold really hooked me. I was a huge DX fan. I wish I watched more WCW as a kid, but I grew up in a WWF household.
Gotcha.
And then,
yeah, man, it was like Game Wars back in the day.
Right. So, then the early 2000s, my family actually hit a bit of a tough time, and we actually ended up losing our house.
Right.
And we moved in with my uncle at his trailer, and he had the old bunny ears TVs that got like 9
yeah.
channels. But UPN Thursday nights at 8 o'clock, I was able to forget about all that because
Nice.
SmackDown was on.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I hear that.
And
That's the power of professional wrestling, folks. It's,
yeah, it truly
Yeah.
made me forget about what was happening around me for those 2 hours. You know, it was like nothing mattered, you know, except
Right.
what was
100%.
happening on that screen. That was my world right there, you know.
100%.
100%.
Just like it's hard pinpointing one professional wrestler because I was just so enamored with all of it.
Gotcha.
You
Yeah.
know, I just like I was literally hooked into every
Every
storyline,
aspect of
every
it.
angle, just like
Mm-hmm.
you know, whether it was the Guerreros or Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit, you know, Chris
Oh yeah.
Jericho, like all those guys truly like just hooked me, and I was
Yeah.
addicted, and I still am
Yeah.
to
Definitely.
this day.
To this very day.
Yeah.
Did you do any amateur wrestling in high school when you were coming up? Did that help the love of professional wrestling?
Yes, I did. I wish I had started earlier, and I wish I had taken it a bit more seriously when I was in it. I started wrestling in 7th grade and 8th grade. My younger brother, actually started when he was in 3rd grade, and for the next 4 years or so, the coaches were trying to recruit me because I was always a bigger kid, and they needed bigger kids on the roster.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know, I don't want it. And then I finally was like, you know what, I'll give it a try. And then I wrestled all throughout high school, and like my freshman year, I wasn't good at all. I don't think I had any varsity matches. Sophomore year was a little bit better. Junior year, I had some injury issues. And then senior year, I ended up placing 3rd in my district,
Nice.
which was a cool moment for me because as a freshman, the seniors didn't like me as much. You know,
Right.
and
Of course.
I can't blame them. I didn't take it as seriously as I should have, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Go ahead, Zombie.
with that, so making that transition from wrestling to what we would call amateur wrestling to professional wrestling. And now when I started training, what was, just bumping and letting ourselves fall, because I always say from birth we've been taught not to fall,
Yeah.
and we're breaking that many years later. What was the
Yeah.
hardest thing about training? Was it taking the bumps? Like, what was the most difficult thing for you to grasp when it came to first training to be a professional wrestler?
So yeah, the bumps are always going to be difficult because, as you said, like we're taught don't fall, don't fall, don't fall,
Yeah.
and even like as an amateur wrestler, we're taught not to go to our backs. You know,
Yeah, that's the last place you want to be.
right? So that was difficult, and also like the changing of the level when you lock up, where in amateur wrestling you want to be as low to the ground as possible. Low man wins. Get your hips low.
Yep.
And explode up. You know,
Totally opposite.
whereas professional wrestling becomes more of a show, and you're up tall when you lock up. You know, that was a hard habit to break of mine. But then, honestly, like the footwork with amateur wrestling helped me leaps and bounds with professional wrestling. I felt like I really had a leg up on guys that didn't do amateur wrestling.
Oh yeah,
because my
100%.
footwork was so much better.
Yeah,
Right.
like it. From speaking experience training with you, like you said, I was kind of like there from the beginning. And, I won't say I helped you out in a little bit, not too much. I don't want to take any credit because you're a hard worker. You've been a hard worker since you got into the business. This training, like when you prepare for matches and stuff, how do you different from others?
So, the best example I could give for this is actually the last 2 matches I've had. Let's say the last 3 matches I've had at Pro Wrestling Magic. December, I was involved in a dog collar match. Now that's a completely different animal.
Yeah, and he not only was a dog collar match, it was a dog collar match against Danny Moff.
Yeah, Danny. Yeah,
If you
Danny
know
Moff.
Danny
Yeah,
Moff,
with
that is a
Dan
big
fucking
boy.
Yeah. So with that, you want to be in physically the best shape possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that match was at the end of December. By Thanksgiving weekend, I started working with a fitness coach, and I started working on getting my body right and just getting in the best shape possible, and working more on flexibility and stuff like that to make sure that in this match, which is more dangerous than a regular match, obviously, I was going to limit any type of injury or possibility of injury.
Right.
Then with that match comes the mental side of it. You're secured by an inch thick dog collar.
Yeah, man.
You got 20 feet of chain between you and another man.
Yeah.
That is more of a mental game than anything.
Not just a man. I mean,
And then
guys, do me a favor. Look up Dan Moff. Okay, this is a big boy. He is
He is a
big.
big guy.
He's big all around. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
So to
So
try to drag
he's
him
a
around by his
beefy
neck is
boy.
not easy.
So
Yeah.
you did a little
Yeah.
bit of amateur wrestling in high school. 2015, you said you started your career. Who can really?
2013 I started training. 2014 I had my first match.
Okay,
There you
2013 started training. Who could say they trained Alex themselves? Who can say like, hey, that guy right there is my guy?
A lot of people have that.
Okay.
A lot of people, and Junior can probably attest to this, where it's like Gino Caruso is obviously my head trainer. He's the one guy that, got me into the business, gave me my start, and really broke me in. But then there's so many hands in the pot that help me.
Oh, yeah.
You don't just learn. If you want to take this seriously, you don't just learn from one or two people.
100%.
Whether it's Gino, Crazy Ivan,
Mm-hmm.
Am I still on? I
Yeah.
just got a
you're
phone
good. You're
call.
good.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
You're fine.
Oh, good. You're still going.
Yeah, so whether it's all these guys, like there's so many people, it really does take a village to create a true professional wrestler,
Right.
because even if like there's a guy that can teach you like 10 good things, you can also learn some things from guys that aren't doing the right thing.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
Because then you can sit back from the outside and realize, I shouldn't do that,
Mm-hmm. Was ECPW your first like in-ring appearance?
Yes. Yeah, I had my first match February 28th, 2014 against Kenny Bengal for ECPW
Was it Kenny your first match?
Yeah.
I think I was in the building for that. I'm not gonna even lie. I might have been in the building for
Might
that.
have been.
I might have been.
Game changer Aaron Bradley with his blue bikers and wearing sunglasses inside. Who dressed me, man?
You got dressed that night.
Yeah.
But no, that was. Oh wow.
Do you have
Kenny Bengal.
Do you have
That's
a
awesome.
different like training regimen than you now than you did when you first got into the game of wrestling?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially now, like I'm in the best shape I've ever been in now. When I started working with my fitness coach, Lucas Duncan, I was about 224 pounds. My last check-in this week, I was at 199 pounds. So I'm 25 pounds lighter than I was. But I'm overall stronger. I'm in better shape. And my cardio has changed dramatically. On top of working with him 5 days a week in the gym, I'm also training in ring, doing cardio and drills and chain wrestling, just getting the blood flowing and being able to wrestle 15, 20, 30 minutes if needed,
Yeah.
Is there anything besides hitting the gym or getting in the ring and working on your moveset? Is there anything else that you do to prepare for your matches to make sure you're right?
Constantly watching tape. The internet is a hell of a resource. in professional wrestling or anything really.
Are you watching tape on yourself, or are you watching tape on other wrestlers?
Myself, future opponents, and I'm constantly watching wrestling, whether it's old school NWA or TNA from last week. I'm constantly watching and learning, and picking up different things.
Right.
Okay. Well, real quick,
go ahead.
Picking up different things. Every wrestler, when they're coming up, they always take inspiration from other wrestlers. Obviously for me, it's Rey Mysterio, Sting, and Eddie Guerrero. Is there any specific wrestlers you were inspired by with their in-ring work or their selling or their move set or anything like that?
Yeah, so I really take, like, I try to take up bits and pieces of everything and make it my own. Like if I know I'm in a match where I'm gonna be brawling a lot, like that week I'll watch a lot of Terry Funk. That week I'll watch a lot of Bruiser Brody or Stan Hansen.
Oh yeah.
And like one of my finishes is actually a lariat because I watch so much older, All Japan stuff with Hansen, Brody, and all that shit.
Yeah.
But if I know that I'm in there with somebody who's got a good submission game, I'm going to be watching a lot of Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, Bret Hart's, Dean Malenko's, Guerrero. I'm going to be watching guys that are well versed in that style, so that if I'm watching something and say it's like a Monday and I got training on Tuesday, I'll screen grab something on my phone.
Nice.
And Tuesday, I'm working on that submission, or I'm working on that hold,
Yeah.
or reversal, So it all boils down to what that weekend's itinerary is, or if I'm going against somebody like Junior Flo, who I know is well versed in coming off the top rope, I'm gonna watch a lot of Billy Kidman or Rey Mysterio, those guys.
Yeah.
Or even like a lot of like Lucha Libre, like I'll watch a lot of different things to game plan and scout and be ready for anything. I like to watch like a lot of Ravens promos and Cactus Jack promos and kind of take inspiration from that and kind of be able to sprinkle in a little bit of that, but also make it my own.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it boils down to what kind of match I'm going to be having that week, and then I'll kind of take inspiration from different wrestlers, and honestly, that's the best way to do it because you keep evolving,
100%.
100%. Now you're Pro Wrestling Magic's heavyweight champion. You won that. You have that title. How do you stay? Let me see. How do you improve on your wrestling skills now that you are champion? To stay on top when you have all these other guys come in, how do you improve your skills to stay motivated around other wrestlers?
So having this means I'm the best paid wrestler on that roster. This means that I'm going to make the most money on that show, and that means I'm going to support my family a little bit better. That means I'm going to support my dreams and my aspirations, and also pay my goddamn bills, because those things just don't stop coming.
Right.
So
They don't.
as long as I have this, I'm the best paid guy on that roster.
Yeah, man.
And honestly, that's the best motivation you can have, being able to support your family,
Right.
That's it.
You did a little. Go ahead.
And also, like, anyone who takes this seriously, like, you have to stay motivated. Or, you know what? It's not motivation, it's discipline. Because motivation comes and goes. But having the discipline to go to the gym when you're tired, or go train when you're sore or hurt, or maybe you pulled a hamstring but you tape it up and you go and train even harder, because the moment you slow down, someone's speeding up.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Yep.
You did a little traveling to Germany, you said earlier. When you were out there, was Germany the only country you've traveled to?
No, I've been to Canada twice.
Okay.
when I was a part of the American Murder Society with Steve Off, we wrestled in the UK for a week.
Nice.
And I've been to Germany now 3 times. And in one of the stays, I actually got to wrestle in the Netherlands as well.
Oh,
Nice.
nice. When you're out in those other countries like that, is it hard for you to adapt to other wrestling styles when you're up against opponents like that, or is it very much similar to how we wrestle in the States?
Wrestling is very universal. So yeah, there are differences and stuff like that. But for the most part, a lot of places are influenced by WWE or TNA or anything that's on TV.
Yeah.
So anything that we're really taking in, they're taking in as well and using as inspiration.
Right. Okay.
Now, with the difference, is there a difference training wise from the States to Germany? Like, is there anything you found different or not, something that we do differently down in the States and they do differently down in Germany or across seeds?
I'd say Germany's a little bit more intense with the training, and I actually enjoyed it a little bit better. There's a lot of structure to it. I was also in WXW, which is in my mind, is the best training academy out in Europe.
Nice.
And like they are hands down one of the best organizations out there, and I'm hoping within the next year or so to get back out there. Actually, today's day 3 of their 16 karat tournament, which is the biggest wrestling tournament they have. And it's a huge festival. I was hoping to make it out there, but I had other bookings that interfered with that as well.
No.
So
does that get hard as a professional
hard to be
wrestler?
champion, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to be champion.
Does being a champion at Pro Wrestling Magic kind of make it a little hard for you to make other appearances somewhere else because of being champion?
No, because we only run 1 day a month.
Okay.
And Pro Wrestling Magic right now is kind of my home, so they were going to take precedence over any other company. But honestly, I think that my bookings since December and winning this title have actually gone up.
Nice.
As I said, I'm making a bit more money, and I'm in more of a demand now. And plus, like, outside of being champion, I'm getting in better shape as well, which helps dramatically with bookings. Because now I look much different than somebody else on the roster.
You say it all the time. Look the part. Look the part. Be the part.
You could look the part, be the part. Are you a wrestler? I know there's some wrestlers out there that just love staying in kayfabe. Are you one of those wrestlers, or do you differentiate yourself? Like, all right, when I'm working, I understand who I am as a Revolver, but as soon as I'm done, I am now, just my regular self.
So the beauty of what I'm doing is there's not much of a line.
Okay.
It's very blurred at sometimes, and sometimes it's hard to really tell where Alex Reiman starts and the Revolver ends, and vice versa, where the Revolver starts and Alex Reiman ends. I catch myself from time to time kind of floating between the two, and so as for kayfabe, I guess I kind of do stay in it because, as respectful as I am, it doesn't take much to kind of flip that switch and get an earful or get yoked up,
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely. Are you currently a heel or a face right now?
I'm heel most places, yeah.
No.
With being a heel, is it hard to engage with your fans right now, as when you were a face?
No, I've kind of always been an outsider.
Okay.
I've never connecting with people in general has always been a difficulty of mine. Because I've never felt like I fit in anywhere. But I feel like with the way I interact online, people are still liking my stuff and sharing my stuff. So there's some level of interaction there with the fans of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Nice. You've been wrestling for quite some time now. Do you have a favorite opponent you like sharing the ring with?
Oh, so there's a lot.
Yeah, it's
If I'm
okay.
at
You don't have to say more.
ECW,
The Zombie King was looking at you
well,
like, you
here's the
better
thing.
say my
You
name.
don't
If
have to
I'm at
say. Yeah.
ECW, you could take your pick of Junior Flow, Trey Felipe, Kenny
Yeah.
Bengal. I haven't been in the ring with Marcos, but I would love to be in there with Marcos. I feel like that would be
No, you haven't been with the gorilla? No, not yet.
I
Really?
think that would be such a war.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I
put some,
definitely do say. I tell you guys all the time. I am well, not that much older, but I'm a little older than you. So I grew up with with a different generation. You caught that
yeah,
generation. When you had Bandito, Sam Shield. All them, Ray Ravello.
yeah.
Great
I
group of
was,
guys. And then, for a little bit, it was kind of like no disrespect, but a bunch of backyarders and stuff like that. And then you guys started to come. You got Aaron Brad, Alex Reiman, Kenny Bangle. We had Sonny Kiss. We had Trey, John Teller. Like, we had a good group of guys that were serious about it, that wanted
yeah,
to go, that wasn't afraid to go. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And then on the other side of the coin with Pro Wrestling Magic, having guys like Dan Moff, I working with him all year last year, literally from January to December. It
Yeah.
was a learning experience,
Oh,
If
yeah.
I didn't learn anything, I should have just burned my boots,
I mean,
That dude is a wealth of knowledge.
yeah.
And then you got guys like Smiley, John Tella, Bruno, who I'm actually in a triple threat with next month in April
Oh, man.
against Bruno and John Tella. If you ask me, it's a little bit unfair.
A little bit.
I think that as a champion, I deserve a one-on-one match.
Come
Being
on.
put in a position where I could lose my title and my form of supporting my family in a match where I
Yeah.
don't even have to lose, it's
You
bullshit.
kind of straight BS,
Um,
man. Bullshit.
it is.
But yeah, John Teller, big guy. What I would say, 6 foot, a little taller than 6 foot, 6'2". And then you
He's like
have,
6.
yeah, he's a big boy. And then you have, yeah,
Yeah, because
he's no,
I'm 6 even.
John Teller. My bad, you're taller than 6 foot because you have Bruno, who's 7 foot. Like,
Yeah.
these are big,
Yeah.
tall, hefty boys.
Yeah. Was it hard creating your I guess your personal brand when you decided to make the switch from AB to now the Revolver?
No, that's the best part about wrestling is if something's not connecting, you could switch up.
Mm.
I think it actually became easier because I was not marketing something that was not genuine anymore. I was giving them an authentic product where it came across,
Right. Right. Have you had any injuries?
Yeah, so I got quite a
Nice.
hole in my
Yeah.
smile.
Yeah,
Junior
just
was
a little
actually
bit.
in that match that happened.
Hey.
It was Junior, myself, Kenny Bengal, and this dude Ryan Roxbury from New York.
Oh, man.
I remember
And
Ryan.
Roxbury. Good old Roxbury.
of all the people in this fucking match, it
Yeah.
was Roxbury that lands on me with his elbow and takes my teeth out.
To give you a little example, think of a shorter Pee Wee Herman.
Oh no, I remember.
Even a bit skinnier.
I remember Ryan Roxbury. I remember when I moved back to New Jersey and I was going to your show Zombie King at ECPW. I remember Aaron Bradley coming out in the blue singlet.
Oh man,
it was a little baggy at first, but he ended up getting fitting it well.
He filled it out.
Yeah, he filled it out. He ended up filling it out. The crew cut, straight smile.
Yeah,
is the Revolver I remember. So, but yeah, I definitely remember Roxbury because him and Timothy Plasma were both the two dudes I always said, "Why are you guys lying about your weight when you come out?" Because it is a lie.
Good old Tim. But I have a fun question before we move on real quick. Okay, it's it's gonna be Cactus Jack, Dude Love, and Mankind. So you got those three. You have two. Put one over for the title, beat one for the title, and tag with one.
Who?
So Mankind, Cactus Jack, and Dude Love. You have to beat one for the title. Have one go over you for the title, and tag with one.
So I'll tag with Cactus. I think that our mental instability kind of matches.
Yeah, it's just a bit about there. It's not the same.
I'll beat Dude Love for the title, and I think I'll put over Mankind.
Oh, there you go.
But
There you go.
the
I actually thought that was going to be your answer.
The caveat has to be that Tony Schiavone has to spoil it on the other channel so that more people watch it.
That's the only way. That's the only way he's putting them over. If you spoil the finish.
The only way. Do you
more
have
viewers, more money?
That's it. That's very true. Do you have any? What are your top most memorable moments so far in your career?
Right off the bat, winning the dog collar match for the Keys to the Kingdom, and then cashing in later this night to win the heavyweight belt. That was like, to me, that was my Mount Everest.
Okay.
You know, it's gonna take a lot to surpass that. And then anytime I got to travel outside of the country and do what I love and get paid for it. Because I tell everyone I grew up poor in Hamburg, New Jersey. Like, the fact that I get to travel now and get paid for it and then do what I love. If you had told me when I was 5 years old or 10 years old, I wouldn't have believed you. Like, it just didn't seem like a real thing that was going to happen to me.
Have you had a favorite year of your career since you've started?
This past year, 2023 so far.
Nice.
Just working with Moff every month. Like, granted, every time we worked, I knew I was in a fight the next day.
Oh yeah.
But I learned so much, and that extends to outside of the ring too.
Right.
How I carry myself, how I conduct myself, how I, interact with other people in the locker room. Like, that man taught me so much about not just being a professional wrestler, but really being a worker in and out of the ring.
Okay.
Nice. Now, with that feud, that was some of your best promo work, I consider.
Absolutely.
Like, you had some good promos with that feud. What's your mindset? What's your thought process on making a promo? And did you kind of just wing it? Do you like have a topic of hand? Like, what's your thought process of promos?
So there's a couple of different ways I approach it. A lot of the times, if I'm being totally honest, I have no idea what I'm gonna say until that red light kicks on.
Yeah. Same way.
Like, it's just I have an idea of where I want to go, and a lot of times, like, I'll have like lines in my head where I'll be like, all right, if I could get to a point, I could say it like this, but then the end product, I've changed that line 3 different ways and made it even better.
Right.
Gotcha.
Then there are other ways where if it's more of a vignette style, with like if I have GoPro producing something, where with that we'll speak in sound bites and then splice in. Mike Sesko does amazing work making me watchable. And he's able to splice in videos of different matches and stuff that's happened. So we'll speak in sound bites where it's not like I'm giving A, B, C, D, E, F, G, where it's like I'll give you one line here, and then we'll let it breathe and kind of factor in a few videos. Then I'll give another 2 lines here, and then I'll have like a go home at the end and wrap everything in.
That's
and
it.
then we'll throw in some more videos. Like, he's so good with all that.
Nice. Hell yeah. It's almost like working a match.
I've seen. I saw that this is your 3rd title with PWM, correct? Tag Team Champion, Dark Arts Champion, and
Yes,
now
I am the 4th Triple Crown winner in Pro Wrestling Magic history.
Nice.
Boom. Making history.
I held the Pro Wrestling Magic World Tag Team titles thanks to me and Steve, because we defended them in England.
Boom.
we held those on 2 different occasions for over 500 days.
Mm-hmm.
I was the Pro Wrestling Magic Dark Arts champion for most of 2022, and now reigning and defending Pro Wrestling Magic Heavyweight Champion.
Nice.
Talking about upgrade.
And you've wrestled a little bit at DTW. You've held a couple titles there too, right? International and
I
tag
miss that
team.
place so much. I
Yeah,
miss that
that was
place
a good spot.
so friggin' much.
Yeah. Good old
I was the
DTW.
DTW tag team champion 3 times with Steve Off, and I was the international champion.
Yep.
1 time.
And
Yeah.
I may be pronouncing this wrong, and I feel like I always do, even when I meet him in person. Prince Anakanata, you were tag team champions with him too, right? Akanata.
Yeah, we
UPWA
were
tag team champions, correct?
Yes, we were the Upwa tag champs.
Yeah.
So that storyline was some of the most fun I've ever had in my career.
Okay.
Nice.
The biggest challenge with tagging with Prince was trying not to laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's one of the funniest motherfuckers I've ever met in my life.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, he really, like, made it his goal to try and break me out of character in every match we had. And there were a few times where I'd be on the corner and I'd have to physically bite my lip or cheek or tongue just to stop myself from laughing.
Yeah, he's one of the best. Prince is one of the best.
I'm going to put you on the spot then, Alex. Did you have more fun traveling with Prince as your tag team partner, or did you have more fun with Steve Off as your tag team partner?
Oh, man.
Hold on one second. What's up, baby? Hi. No, I'm still recording, baby.
Come on.
Like the boss.
I'll be outside in a little bit, okay? Hey,
he's like, yo, man, you've been recording so long.
So that's a tough question.
Yeah, man.
Hey, we got to put you on the spot.
Put you on the spot.
I don't know, like, cause like the brand of humor between Steve and Prince are 2 different
type of humors.
entities. Like Prince is very like, me and him are very Three Stooges-esque.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Steve Off and myself are very much dark humor guys. So we
okay. Laughing at babies falling down the stairs.
Yeah, why'd the kid fall off the swing set? Because he had no arms. So it's just like, damn, that's. I'm gonna have to call it a tie.
Okay.
As shitty of an answer as that is, because I really can't choose, because if either one of them were to call me right now and be like, "Hey, let's take a car ride right now," I'd probably say yeah.
There you go.
You'd have to go pick both of them up.
Yeah.
That's great. Have you ever held any gold for ECPW?
I have not.
Really?
Does that make you feel some type of way?
Titles. I have a 0 win percentage in championship matches at ECPW.
How does that make you feel? Does that make you feel as or do you feel like you're still like earning your spot for ECPW?
So I feel like my spot with ECPW is kind of different from where it is at Pro Wrestling Magic, where I'm kind of helping out with the younger talents in ECPW, guys like Tamir, Buddy Thomas, and Drew Marston, guys like that, where I'm really giving back to them and helping them out put their matches together, or watching different matches for them, or even just watching matches from years gone by and breaking down the psychology of why what's happening is happening,
Yeah, no, I love to hear when the vets are actually helping the younger generation to make that younger generation better, but also while you're doing that, you're making that promotion better, getting more eyes on it.
Right,
100%.
Dude, it really is one hand washes the other in wrestling, and a lot of people forget that. If I didn't have an opponent, I don't have a match.
Exactly.
Or if I don't have a good opponent, I don't have a good match. I mean, I could get a good match out of a bad opponent, but I'd prefer not to.
Yeah, work extra.
Nice. What? Go ahead.
So I was gonna before we have like a couple more questions. So I just want to throw some funds out before we start closing out. So there's gonna be five questions, real quick. All right, off top of your head.
Right.
Worst move to take?
A move that I refuse to take is a Canadian destroyer because one, it makes no fucking sense, and two, I'm not having anybody drop me on my head. Anything off the top, really, because you got the weight of somebody coming crashing down on you. No matter how safe they are, it still hurts.
Oh yeah, so you feel the impact. Second question.
Yeah.
Favorite move to give?
Oh, I love me a good lariat.
Can't go wrong.
I love taking someone's soul out of their body with a lariat.
That's it. Yeah, he took my soul a couple of times. I'm not gonna lie. Good thing I'm a zombie.
And I enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah, you did. Number 3, favorite match stipulation.
Ooh, I have to say I fell in love with the dog collar. It was different. It made me think outside the box because it's not like a regular match where if you wanted to, you could just leave the ring.
Yeah, no, you're there.
You got that. If somebody wants you back in the ring, they have the high ground. And they're gonna choke you until you're back in the ring. So you have to really plan 2 steps ahead to really, execute.
Not only that too, just like going in and out the ropes. But I remember I did my strap match with my dad, and like I keep forgetting like I went underneath the ropes or like through the ropes regularly.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. And I'm like, oh shit! I had to like go back in the ring, go underneath. Like I was like, oh damn! I just can't leave the ring like a normal match.
It happened to me, and I ended up getting pulled off the top rope into an RKO.
Oh, beautiful!
Oh, dang,
that's a nice spot.
Yeah, beautiful for him.
4. A current superstar that's kind of in the major leagues out of WWE, AEW, or TNA. One of those wrestlers that you would love to feud with and have a rivalry with.
CM Punk, hands down.
Yeah, and a little fact. I love that you bring in CM Punk because there's a little fact that Mr. Reiman here, he is straight edge. He don't do nothing. He is straight edge. He don't drink. He don't smoke. He is the perfect guy to go to the bar with after a show because you have a designated driver all the time with this guy.
Yeah. And we're going to have a good time,
A good time.
100%.
Yeah. Right. Last question. Go ahead.
Yeah, because, CM Punk was a huge inspiration to me getting into it. Because, I'm sure you could attest to this, there was a time when wrestling wasn't cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I was picked on a lot for wanting to be a wrestler, so much so that in high school I actually stopped telling people what I wanted to do because I was tired of defending it. And then the summer of Punk happened in 2011 and 2012, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I was like, this. I shouldn't have to apologize for what I love, And it was nice to have. Thank you for bringing up the straight edge thing because that was the thing that drew me to him was that he was just like me. He was an outsider, an outcast.
Someone to look at.
Yeah, and I really identified myself with CM Punk, and he really drew me into, falling deeper in love with professional wrestling. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going in. This is what I want.
Beautiful. Last question. No particular order. Try not to think about it. Your top 5 greatest wrestlers of all time.
Ooh.
No particular order. Off top of the head.
Bret Hart. Harley Race. Ric Flair. Hulk Hogan. Stone Cold.
Solid list.
Solid list. That's a solid top 5. Can't even argue any of those names.
No.
Solid top 5. All right. Well, while we wrap up, we have a few more questions for you. Just real quick, what are your long-term goals in the wrestling industry, both personally and professionally?
I want this to be my full-time job. It's nice as a side hustle right now, but I want I want to be in an airport every single day. I want to be traveling on the road every single day. I want to be supporting my family with the money I make through professional wrestling. I want to quit my day job. I want to be able to say that I am a full-time professional wrestler. That is the goal. And whether that's through AEW, NWA, WWE, Impact, New Japan, All Japan, CMLL, AAA, wherever it is,
Just
I
give
want to
me
be
a
able to
contract.
support. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Any contract. Just give me a contract, and I'll take it from
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been to Canada, the UK, Germany. Any other countries you want to travel to? You said you've been to the Netherlands that you want to go visit
Yeah,
and actually have a match.
I want to wrestle in Japan. I want to get to Mexico as well. I believe those markets are hot. Italy is heating up a lot with IWA.
Yeah.
Spain is becoming a hotbed as well, and so is France. So those are definitely places and promotions that I want to work with. Yeah, I really just I want to travel and see the world. As I said, I grew up poor in Hamburg, New Jersey. Getting to see the world and get paid for it it still seems surreal to me.
Mm-hmm. I hear that. All right, last question, man. While we get up out of here, can you give any advice to indie wrestlers that are getting ready to join the scene and do professional wrestling and break into the industry?
First thing is do your homework on professional wrestling schools. Find a reputable trainer. There are a ton of guys that are just okay with taking your money and not showing you a goddamn thing.
Yep.
And really leading you down a path to failure. And then you have to unlearn a lot of bad habits before you learn any good ones. That's the first thing. Second thing is get in shape and stay in shape. It'll help you tenfold. If you want to take this seriously. And plus, to protect your opponent, you have to be in shape, because what happens 12, 13 minutes, 14 minutes into a match and you're gassed out?
100%.
You end up dropping somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You end up, coming in too hot with a punch. A lot of bad things can happen.
A lot of bad things.
Third thing is learn how to, and I'm still learning this because I'm awful with it, so I got to take my own advice on this. Learn how to utilize social media. It is the biggest tool in a wrestler's arsenal now.
Yeah.
Outside of the ring, and also
100%.
you're not going to make a lot of true friends in this business. Find 3 to 5 guys or girls or theys that you could trust, and stick with them and push each other, and don't let ego get in between any of that. If you see your friend slacking, I know that if I was slacking, Junior would be the first one to say, dude, what the fuck?
No.
And I would say the same thing to Junior. And we've had those conversations.
And we both know it's out of love. It's not out of I'm gonna point out your flaws. It's like, bro, I know you're better than this.
Right.
I know you're better than this. Let's go. And there's plenty of times we're both at practice, and we go and practice. Well, when I practice with Bradley, Truly Pay, and anyone there, we don't call nothing. Nothing's being called. We're not going in there and let's just run. No, we go in there and fill it out, and we go 15, 20 minutes nonstop.
Yeah, and that's when you start to find things that'll be like, hey, how'd you get into that thing there? Or how'd you get from that wrist lock to that high spot right there? Let's figure out. Let's take that spot we just created, figure out how it would make sense, and how we can serve that to the audience in a way that they would be able to process what just happened.
100%. Last question for you, and I'm just gaslighting here just for some shits and giggles. Can the ZombieKing get a shot at that World Heavyweight Championship?
Oh damn!
Anyone can get it.
This little shot.
Anyone can get it. I'm an equal
Good
opportunist.
answer.
But
Good answer.
understand that this is my life.
Yeah,
This
man.
is everything that I've worked for.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I do truly value you as a friend, but I will do awful things to you. I will hurt you. I will
I believe
grab
it.
anything that I can and twist it until it breaks.
You know it. And you know that won't take it right to you, man.
Understand that coming into that ring is a direct threat to me. Is a direct threat to my way of providing for my family. And that's the way I look at it.
I love
It
it.
won't be
You know what that
personal,
means?
but it'll feel very, very personal.
You know what that means? It's going to be one hell of a match. That's what that means right there, okay? If that ever happens, if ZombieKing versus Reiman for that title, you're going to get one hell of a match. I'm just going to say that.
And even better, one hell of a fight.
There you go. Now we're talking.
Hell yeah. And then he'll take you home after that beer at the bar.
Yeah, that's it. He'll drive me so I can get drunk.
Oh man, hey Alex, man,
your real friend.
We truly do appreciate you taking your time to
Yes.
come talking to us about your career of wrestling, dude. You've had a fantastic career thus far, and you're only chasing bigger and bigger things. And we're excited for you. We're cheering for you on. And man, please get all your plugs while you're here with us, and as we get up out of here.
Yeah, where can we see you? Where can we find you? Where's social media?
You can find me at Twitter and Instagram at Revolver_Reiman. On Facebook, Alex Reiman. Just send me a friend request. Maybe I'll accept it. Probably not. And then Pro Wrestling Tees, the Revolver Alex Reiman. Please buy my merch so I can buy my dog new stuff. That'd be cool.
There you go. Yeah. Alex Reiman, Pro Wrestling Tees. Go buy a t-shirt.
And support his dog.
Yes.
Support that dog.
Yes.
We're all dog lovers over here, so support the dog.
That's big facts.
Real quick, next match. What's your next match? When can we see you in the ring?
So, I have this coming Friday. I have ECPW Luck of the Draw.
I'll see you there. We'll be in the
March
same locker room.
22nd. I have the ISPW Rumble, Golden Ticket Rumble. I'll be punching my ticket, eliminating up to 29 other competitors in a spot to win an anytime, anywhere title match, which I have success in. And then the 23rd, I will be defending this title at Pro Wrestling Magic.
There it is.
There it is. Y'all heard it here first. Stay tuned. Watch this man watch his matches because he can work. He's a great worker. He's doing everything right. He's on top of the game right now. Remember the name Alex Reiman.
Remember it.
Thank
the
you.
Revolver.
No, man, thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
You guys already know we are Four Sides of the Ring. This is Inside the Ring. We are Inside the Ring with Alex Reiman, the Revolver himself, Pro Wrestling Magic Heavyweight Champion. You can't tell that to nobody else. We thank you so much for taking your time and doing this with us. We will catch you guys on the next interview.